From the moment I stormed back across the office floor that afternoon, I knew something inside me had finally snapped. Lisa, one of my employees, and to this day still one of my best friends, watched in stunned silence as I went from 0 to 100 the moment 𝐕𝐴𝐻𝐺 walked in. My shift had ended 10 minutes before. 𝐕𝐴𝐻𝐺 was meant to release me, but there he was, strolling in late with that lazy grin. We'd just talked about punctuality, about how I needed to get home, but he sauntered up to the safe as if time didn't matter. My chest constricted, blood thundered in my ears, and before reason could catch up, I jabbed a finger at him. "Get here on time. We just talked about this. I've got things to do. Count the safe, now." My voice cracked with fury, raw and jagged. 𝐕𝐴𝐻 froze, confusion and hurt pooling in his eyes. I mumbled an apology that tasted like ash, then bolted for the parking lot and collapsed onto my car's hood. Under the flickering lot lights, my hands trembled on cold metal as I realized I didn't know how to tame the rage that had seized me. At nearly 40, a veteran, a husband, a father, the same helpless fury I'd felt on the schoolyard still ruled me. A few weeks later, the anger surfaced again. Todd, my neighbor, and I were swapping brakes in his driveway, cursing the instructions, joking like old friends. But when a socket wrench clattered at my feet, I stomped back so hard I almost fell. The wrench rolled away, and I threw my hands up. "You think you know everything, don't you?" "Always right, never listening," I snapped. "You're worse than Kenny." Todd froze, that wounded look flashing in his eyes. In that moment, I saw my younger self, the boy who flinched at every sound, and I slammed the truck's hood shut and walked away, my heartbeat drowning out his calls. Still frustrated, I stumbled home to Jackie and Zay. She sat on the couch, scrolling her phone, her quiet strength a balm I felt too raw to claim. I sank into a chair, face buried in my hands, ashamed and wordless. I longed for those childhood mornings, bare feet on cool tile, laughter echoing freely, yet anger coiled in my chest, smothering every hopeful thought. The boy behind the man. My fury traced back to a night I barely remember, age 3, in my twin bed. Thunderous pounding woke me. My father locked out of my parents' room, battering the door. My mother whispered comforts I couldn't feel. I stayed silent, learning that tears invited violence. At my grandparents' house, I found physical safety, but I carried those emotional scars everywhere. By elementary school, I was the quiet kid, flinching at every shout. When a bully shoved me against the blackboard and sneered, "What are you gonna do?" something snapped. I punched him so hard his lip split and I felt a fierce, terrifying power. Ms. Allen marched me to the principal's office, whispered, "Good job." And I learned anger could be my shield, though it cost my peace. Loss forged me. Even before adolescence, loss shadowed me. Marvin, my childhood North Star, vanished before I knew the meaning of loyalty. Aunt Amy's warm wisdom, Jean's steadfast faith, and most heartbreakingly, my mom and dad, my emotional heartbeat and physical anchors, disappeared one by one, leaving me to navigate a colder world alone. By 14, I'd tasted freedom with my first paycheck. By 16, I burned my last bridge at home and thrown myself into a 6-day-a-week grind. Then lightning tore through our roof and set our world ablaze. I crawled from that inferno, singed and gasping, every ragged breath a reminder of life's fragility. Trading trauma for discipline. At 19, I enlisted in the Army, craving the strict order I'd lacked. Emotions off the battlefield, drill sergeants roared. I tucked my scars beneath uniform folds and channeled my rage into combat drills. Focus forged in fear. Home again, the battlefield followed me. Sudden noises, delayed texts, innocent mistakes. Each could trigger a rage I couldn't name. I punched walls in secret while the world praised my drive. The turning point. Lisa, a friend and colleague who saw this anger building, slid me a note. Doctor, Prudence Brooks, licensed therapist. You might want to call her, she said quietly. That night, I dialed her number, hands trembling. Her calm voice offered a sliver of peace I hadn't known I needed. I scheduled my first session, excavating the pain. In her softly lit office, I poured out every chapter of my story. My father's roaring rage, the bruising playground fights, the inferno that nearly consumed me, the relentless battlefield of mind, heart, and soul, the nightmares that replayed like fractured memories, and the hollow ache of each loss. She gently guided me to trace every flare of anger back to its hidden trigger. Shame that curled like barbed wire, fear that tightened my chest, helplessness that rooted me in place. Naming those wounds was like igniting a lantern in pitch darkness. Each word sparked new clarity. Each truth illuminated the previously shadowed corners of my psyche. In that moment, anger transformed from a predator stalking my days into a lighthouse, its beam revealing the fractures I'd long ignored and pointing the way toward healing. Relearning strength. I discovered that true strength isn't found in stoic silence or explosive force. It's the courage to feel deeply and to share those feelings. Jackie became my partner in healing. Each morning, we'd sit down to breakfast and name our small blessings. On weekends, we'd set out on road trips, exploring new horizons and gently weaving our family's lives together. Her clan, steeped in military tradition, with Mr. Roberts still on active duty, welcomed me as one of their own. In their company, we traded tears instead of bravado, and side by side, we rebuilt our lives with honesty, compassion, and a quiet, unshakable hope. See, in those days, I realized we both had work to do, shaped by very different upbringings. Jackie grew up wrapped in privilege, Daddy's golden girl who always got her way, while you know my story of blended families and struggles. When I returned, my grandparents met me with open arms, and my mother's eyes shone with pride and forgiveness. You weathered the fiercest storm, she said, pulling me close. Now go out there and help others find their shelter. A father's promise. In the green and gold room we prepared, our son sleeps peacefully. Each night I whisper a promise. I will protect him not with fists, but with an open heart. When he cries, I no longer flinch. I hold him until his tears still. Now, when anger flickers, a sharp email, a traffic jam, a late call, I pause and ask myself, what am I feeling? Naming the truth lets the heat subside. Dr. Brooks told me, anger is a beacon pointing to what we value. She was right. My anger illuminated my needs: respect, connection, safety. When I listened, I found purpose to live with integrity, to father with compassion, to guide others toward their healing. My story continues to unfold. I walk this path with open hands and an open heart, knowing that the fiercest storms can give way to gentlest dawns, and that the bravest act is to feel, to share, and to heal together. Reflection and victory. In these quiet moments, I reflect on my journey not as a chain of scars, but as a testament to resilience. Every furious outburst, every tear shed, and every sleepless night was a step toward reclaiming my soul. I've learned that victory isn't the absence of struggle. It's discovering your heartbeat beneath the chaos. and choosing love over fear. Standing here today, I feel the weight of that childhood thunder, the heat of the fire, and the echo of combat drills. Yet none can overshadow the fierce light that has risen within me. I carry my losses as medals of courage, Marvin's laughter, Aunt Amy's embrace, Jean's steadfast prayers, and my parents' boundless love. They guide me still. With each soul I touch as a father, husband, friend, or fellow veteran, I honor their legacy and prove that even the deepest wounds can bloom into strength. This is more than survival. It's a declaration of victory. My heart, once a battleground, now pulses with hope. In every dawn I greet, every challenge I meet, and every small act of kindness I extend, I celebrate the hard-won truth that healing is possible, and that together we can turn our fiercest storms into our brightest triumphs.